Welcome to class, everybody. My name is Anne, and I am going to guide you through this 45-minute Pilates flow class. Today's class is focused more on our lower body, so lots of exercises around our glutes, hips, legs, but with all Pilates classes, we will of course be focusing on our core, so building some strength and stability in those areas as well. All the exercises today are designed to be pretty low impact, so pretty accessible for most levels of practice and pretty safe for the joints. But that being said, low impact is not necessarily always equal easy, so expect a little bit of a challenge in some parts of class. But that being said, I always love to remind people or let them know if this is their first time taking a class with me that I am simply here to guide you in terms of movement and exercise today. Everything and anything is up for modification in the class if you need to, whether maybe it's just taking a break, changing the pace or the position that you're in, everything, breath work, stretches, exercises, feel free to modify at any point as you need to in class. I fully expect that everyone will be listening into their bodies and making those kinds of decisions and judgments throughout class, so you're welcome to do that, of course. We don't really need any props today. I recommend practicing on a mat if you have that available to you today, otherwise a carpeted surface, or maybe just folding up a blanket to give yourself a little bit of extra support. It's always a good idea to have maybe just a small size towel or cushion around for any extra cushioning you may need on joints. Today's exercises, a lot of them can be used with a resistance band, like a loop band like this, or a TheraBand if you're able to tie it into a looped little knot. Just have that readily available, and you can always add it in or take it off if you'd like. And yeah, we're gonna get started today. So I'm not gonna play music in the background of this video. If you wanna go ahead and set up your own playlist and press play, you can go ahead and do that, and I will do the same. Once you've got your music ready, go ahead and make your way down onto the back of your body. So lying all the way down. From here, you can decide if the legs are long, or maybe the knees are bent, soles of the feet are flat to the floor. If you have any low back tension right now, sometimes the knees bent option is what feels like a little bit of a more gentle way to start the practice. And once you arrive here on your back, simply allow for the body to start to soften and get heavy. So maybe just finding a gentle release for the forehead and the jaw. Allowing the shoulders to relax and soften. Allowing for a subtle release of the belly, the glutes. And releasing any grip, any tension you might feel in the fingers or the toes. And then from here, let's all take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And a nice big exhale, release by the mouth. You're welcome to make the exhale silent or audible. Two more like that, deep inhale through the nose. And a nice big exhale, release. One last one, maybe making this the biggest, longest inhale yet. Inhaling deep through the nose. And a big exhale, release. Good. Slowly start to introduce a little bit of movement, maybe just wiggling the fingers and the toes. If your legs are not long, send them long now. Maybe start to draw a few circles with the ankles, the wrists. Good. From here, we're slowly going to start to drag the right knee in towards the chest and wrapping the hands either around the shin or maybe behind the thigh. Take a few deep breaths here, inhaling through the nose and exhaling by the mouth. Good, and then allow the right leg to go long. Bend the left knee in, hands around shins or thighs. Deep inhale through the nose. And exhale by the mouth. And slowly send the left leg long. Send both arms up overhead. Maybe zip the legs up together. Nice big full body stretch here. Inhaling deep through the nose. Then exhale, release. One more like that. Inhale, feel the spine start to arch away from the floor. And then a big exhale, release. Good. Slowly bend the knees and feet on the floor. Keep the right arm lifted overhead. We're just going to roll to the right side first. Take a breath, a nice big inhale here on your side. Plant the left hand down in front of your chest. And as you exhale, press into that left hand and flip yourself around until you're in a tabletop position, hands and knees. Take a moment to stack the shoulders above the wrists, the knees underneath the hips. And we'll take a few cat-cows just to stretch out the spine. As you inhale, start to press the chest forward. Maybe start to lift the tail, lift the gaze. And as you exhale, find a nice big rounding through the upper back. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, look down. Again, inhale, we lift. Chest lifts, tail lifts. And a nice big exhale, tuck and round. Good. Do a few more just like this, your own breath, your own pace. Maybe even closing the eyes if that feels comfortable. And just sensing that subtle stretch from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. Good. One more. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, tuck and round. And then release those positions. Come to a neutral spine, so relatively flat back. Start to press really heavy into the right hand on the ground. We're going to lift the left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Take a little stretch. As you exhale, thread that left arm under the right side. The ear and the shoulder are just hovering above the mat. Inhale, lift up, reach up. And exhale, thread under and through. One more like this. Inhale, lift, open. Exhale, thread under. This time we're coming all the way down onto shoulder, onto ear. And you can take that right hand, place it on the low back for a little bit of support. Take a full breath here. And then gently replace that right hand down first. Press into the right hand, lift yourself back up. Placing the left hand back down. Switching sides. Get really firm into the left hand. Take an inhale. Lift the right fingertips way, way up. Exhale, thread under and through, little twist. And then inhale, reach and lift. Exhale, thread. One last time, reaching all the way up. Exhale, coming through and coming down onto that shoulder and that ear on the right side. And you can gently place the left hand on the low back. Full breath here. And then slowly replace the left hand down, lift the right fingertips up. And place the right hand back down on the mat. Good. So from here, maybe walking yourself a little bit further forward towards the top of your mat. We're going to tuck the toes under, take a nice deep breath in, starting to scoop and draw the belly in. On your exhale, press into the fingertips, press into the toes, lift the knees to hover. Take a full breath in. Exhale, maybe lift the knees an inch or two higher. And then let's send the right toes back, followed by the left toes. You're in a high plank just for a second. Full inhale. Start to wave the hips up and back to your down dog. Good. From here, make any little micro adjustments with the hands, the feet that make this feel a little bit more comfortable for your body. And just let the head hang heavy between your biceps. Maybe pedal out the feet one at a time, bending one knee, then the other. Find some stillness. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, let's ripple forward. So start to lengthen through the legs, lengthen through the spine until you come all the way back to your high plank. At the bottom, take an inhale, lift the hips way up and back, come to your down dog. And then exhale, ripple forward, lengthen out, high plank. Good. The next time you lift up the down dog, pause, stay here. As you exhale, this time send the gaze towards your hands and start to walk the feet up to the top edge of your mat. Take a full inhale here, just round forward, maybe opposite hand to opposite shoulder. You can shake a little bit side to side. And then release the fingertips down, take a full breath in. As you exhale, let's start to roll up through the spine. One bone at a time. Until you come all the way up to standing tall. At the top, take an inhale, lift the arms up. At the same time, bend the knees, send the hips way back and down, little squat. And then exhale, press all the way up to stand. Inhale to grow tall first. Exhale to round and roll down, leading with the crown of the head. Until you come all the way down. Take an inhale, bring the hands to your shins or your thighs. Find a halfway lift. And then exhale, just release. Plant the hands down, step the feet back. Full breath in. Wave the hips up and back. Exhale, ripple forward, find your high plank. And then again, inhale, lift up and back. As you exhale, send the gaze forward, walk the feet forward. Pause here for an inhale. As you exhale, roll up to stand. It's nice and slow. At the top, arms overhead, inhale, bend the knees, little squat down. And exhale, press to stand. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, round and roll down. At the bottom, take an inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. And then exhale, release. Set the feet back. Inhale, wave hips up and back. Exhale, ripple forward, high plank. Inhale, lift it up and back. And this time, as you exhale, walk forward to the top. At the bottom, take an inhale. Exhale to round and roll up, bone by bone. Make this the slowest one yet. At the top, lift the arms up overhead. Interlace the fingers. Flip the palms up towards the ceiling. Nice big stretch here. Inhale, grow tall. As you exhale, find a little side bend up and over to the right side. Inhale, stack tall through center. Exhale, little side bend to the left. Inhale, come back through center. Place the palms on top of the head. Press the crown of the head really firmly into your hands. Take an inhale. As you exhale, find a little twist and rotation over to the right. Inhale, come back. Exhale, little twist to the left. And come back through center. At this point, if you wanted to grab onto the loop band, you can place it just around the middle top part of your thighs. And we'll come into a little bit of a leg series. As you inhale, start to send the arms forward in space. Bend the knees, sink the hips down to your little squat. And then exhale, press all the way up to stand, hands come by your sides. Again, inhale, float down, arms float forward. And exhale, lift. Good, so trying to maintain our neutral spine the best we can in this position. So avoiding any kind of rounding through the upper back or an overly big arch in the low back. Trying to keep everything pretty controlled. Isolating movement here to the knees, the hips, the glutes. And the arm movements are definitely optional. If you want to just have hands resting on your waist, that's an option. Good. Let's do a few more here. You can even genie stack the arms. Sometimes I feel like this gives me a little bit more of a reminder to keep my chest lifted instead of rounding forward as I come down. Good. On the next one, let's hold here at the bottom. Sit nice and low into your squat. Feet are about hip bone distance apart, but if you need to walk them a little bit further apart to be a little bit more comfortable in the pelvis, that's fine. From here, take an inhale, and then as you exhale, lift the right heel, and then float it back down. And then exhale, switch. Left heel lifts, and inhale, lower. Good. So just a little heel raise, side to side. Sitting low in our squat, really getting into the top muscles here on our legs, our quadriceps. Good. Let's go for 3, for 2. Last one, keep the right heel lifted. Take a full inhale, really prepare, draw the belly in, start to float the left heel. So you're balancing, both heels raised. Hold here for 3, for 2. Last one, float the heels back down, press yourself all the way up to stand. And then right back into it. Inhale, lower. Exhale to lift. Straight down, straight up. 2 more. Remembering our breath. Inhale, lower. And exhale, lift. Let's again meet down in that squat and hold. This time get really heavy. Press your weight into your left foot. Send the right toes out towards the side. And as you exhale, press yourself up to standing with the right toes still lifted. Inhale, bring that leg back through center and down. Lower down, toes out, exhale to lift. Good. So putting all our pressure, all our weight into that left foot and leg as we lift. Good. One more. Hold here at the top, right toe still lifted. Find little pulses, little lifts out to the side. Finding a little action here for the side of our right glute and hip. Pulse for 3, 2, 1. Bring that right foot in. Reset with 3 squats through center. Inhale, lower, and exhale, press and lift. Inhale, down, and lift. The last one, we hold here at the bottom. Send the left toes up to the side. Take an inhale. Exhale, press yourself up to stand. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, foot extends and lift. Good. 4 more here. Sinking all that weight now into the right side. Good. We got 2 more. Keep the belly drawing in to maintain your balance here, to maintain that nice neutral spine. Last one, lift up, hold here at the top. Little pulses, left leg out to the side. Little tiny lifts. If you lose your balance, just come right back into it. Pulsing for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower that left foot down. Maybe do a little march. Wiggle out the legs if that feels good. And then standing at the top edge of your mat, lift the arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, roll down through the spine, 1 bone at a time. At the bottom, plant the hands down. Step the feet back. Hold in your high plank here, hips lifted in line with the shoulders, and belly's drawing in nice and tight. Hold and breathe for 3, for 2. Last one, lower to your forearms. So the right forearm comes down, left forearm comes down. Then we're going to bring the right fingertips to the back of our left elbow, and the left fingertips to the front of our right elbow. So the forearms are basically stacked, one in front of the other, on the outer edges of our forearms we're holding. Now we're going to roll open onto our right side. So roll onto the outer edge of the feet. You're on your right forearm. Lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale, look up at that left hand. As you exhale, thread that left arm under the right side. And then inhale, lift and reach. Exhale, twist. So similar to that first little stretch we took in class, finding a little threading under and through, a little twist from the upper body. At any point, if you want to place that top foot on the floor in front of you for a little extra stability and support, you can go ahead and do that as well. Or lowering down to your knees is also an option. The next time you thread under and through, hold. Find little pulses in your twist, pulsing under and through for 3, 2, 1. Lift the fingertips up. Send the left leg long. Roll back onto all 10 toes. You're on both forearms just for a second. Hold and breathe, belly drawing in. Holding for 3, for 2. The last one. Roll open now to the left side, left forearm down. You're on the outer edge of your left foot. And of course, you can bend that top right knee, place it down in front of you. Inhale, look up at the top arm. Exhale, thread under and through. Inhale, big lift. Exhale, thread it under. And of course, both legs can be extended long to your full expression of side plank if you prefer. The last one, twist and thread, little pulses. Pulsing under for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift that top arm all the way up. Send that leg long, that top leg. Come back onto the forearms, roll onto all 10 toes. Hold and breathe. Draw the belly in, press your body weight forward. Maybe a slight tuck of the tailbone. Gaze is forward and head on the mat. Holding for 3, for 2. And last one, lower the knees, untuck the toes, and send the hips back to meet your heels. Hang out in your child's pose or shell stretch. Nice big inhale through the nose. Nice big exhale by the mouth. Good. Slowly start to tent the fingers, lift the forearms above the mat, and slowly drag fingertips towards your knees. Give your knees a little tug once they reach. And then stack your spine up nice and tall. Take a seat in the middle of your mat. Legs out long in front of you, and you've got some space behind you. You can start with the legs out long, or maybe the knees are bent if the legs are feeling pretty tight today. Arms come out in front of the chest. Take a nice big inhale, sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, let's start to roll back. So start by drawing the low belly in, tucking the tailbone under, rolling off your sit bones, and then slowly, with control, we start to lower down. Starting with the low back, the mid back, until finally the upper back, the shoulders, the arms, everything comes all the way down. From here, take a nice full inhale through the nose. And a nice big exhale, release. One more time, big inhale through the nose. And exhale, release. Good. Once more, if you'd like to use the band, you can have it on for this sequence as well. We're going to be doing a little bit more leg and glute work. From here, we're bending the knees, placing the soles of the feet flat to the floor. Start with the feet about hip bone distance apart. We'll go through a few pelvic tilts. So as you inhale, rock your pelvis forward in space, finding a little bit of arch in the low back. And as you exhale, find a nice soft tuck, allowing the low back to gently soften or imprint against the floor. Again, inhale, rock forward. Exhale, nice and slow, rock it in. Good. Couple more back and forth, just releasing any tension you may have built up in the low back. And just getting it used to a little bit of movement. Good. The next time the low back is imprinted against the floor, both hip bones are rocking in towards you. Pause here, take a full breath in. As you exhale, press into the hands, press into your feet, start to lift the hips up towards the ceiling, lifting your spine one bone at a time until you come to the height of your bridge. At the top, we do want our chest and our shoulder blades to be nice and heavy on the mat, and belly's drawing in nice and tight, firm little squeeze from the glutes. Take an inhale. As you exhale, slowly start to melt the spine down one bone at a time until you come all the way down. Inhale at the bottom, rock the hips away. Exhale, rock it in, start to lift hips up towards the ceiling, back to your bridge. This time at the top, we're going to still hold. Now as we inhale, we're going to start to lower the hips down to that hover, so just an inch or two above the floor, and then exhale, press into the feet, lift back up. Inhale, a little lower down. Exhale, press to lift. Good, and intentionally, very slow movement here. Finding a contraction of the glutes, the hamstrings at the top of the lift, and intentionally finding that softening through those muscles, a little release of the tension as you lower down. Good, let's lift straight up and down for 3. Last 2. And last one, lift and hold here at the top. Now we're going to lower the hips down an inch and lift them back up. So a little lower down and a little lift up. It's not very big at all. Maybe it's not even an inch. Maybe it's a couple centimeters. Just enough so that the bum lowers down to relax just a tiny bit. And then right away, a little squeeze, lifting back up. Let's lift and lower for 3. Last 2. And last one, lift and hold here. Now we're just going to move the feet. As you inhale, lift the heels to hover. And then exhale, lower them down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Good. And you don't even have to lift the calves all the way up to their max height and walk out through the ankles. Maybe even just lifting maybe an inch, maybe halfway to your max. Lift and lower for 3. For 2. Last one, pause with heels lifted here. Now we're going to inhale, lower the hips down to that hover, and exhale, lift. Good. Back to that full range of motion we found in the beginning. Trying to keep the heels lifted, but of course you can lower them down at any point. And increasing the range of motion for our hips to lift and lower will be a new experience for the glutes, the hamstrings, a little bit more of a challenge. Good, lift and lower for 3. Last 2. And last one, lift and hold at the top, little lifts and lowers. So a little lower down, a little lift back up. Slow and controlled. Let's go for 5. For 4. Last 3. And the last one, lift and hold, just hold and breathe. And then slowly lower the heels and slowly melt the spine all the way down to the mat. If it feels good, bring knees to chest, rock a bit side to side. And then let's place the feet back down, this time separating the feet a little bit wider, maybe about hip bone distance apart. But the knees are tracking just over top of the heels. Take an inhale. As you exhale, roll up through the spine, lift the hips all the way up to your wide-legged bridge. From here, we're going to inhale, lower the hips down to a hover, and exhale, lift. Inhale, lower down, and exhale, press and lift. Good. So same movement as before, but we're targeting a few different muscles in this position, mostly on our outer hips, our outer glutes. Let's lift straight up and down for 3. For 2. And last one, lift and hold. Glutes are turned on and squeezing. A little lower down, a little lift up. Good. Really tiny. It's kind of like a pulse, but it's a really slow pulse. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, lifted. Now heels lift and lower. Heels lift and down for 4. Keep the hips lifted. Sometimes they like to creep down a bit when the focus isn't solely on them. Last one, lift the heels, pause here. Now inhale, lower hips down. Exhale, lift. Good, really press firmly into the balls of the feet. Keep the knees tracking out towards your toes. Lift and lower for 3, for 2, and last one, lift the hips, pause here. Lower the hips an inch and back up. Last little push here, I promise. Well, for the glutes. Then we're going to move on to something else. Lift and lower for 3, for 2. Last one, let's lift and hold here. Hips lifted, heels lifted, holding and breathing. For 3, for 2. And last one, melt the heels down, roll down through the spine, one bone at a time. Knees in towards the chest, one more time. If that feels good, rock it out. Awesome. Okay, let's send the legs long. Legs can be about hip bone distance apart or maybe a little bit wider. Whatever's a little bit more comfortable in your pelvis and allows your low back to rest in that neutral position. We're going to bend the elbows, interlace the hands behind the head and neck, and let the head rest nice and heavy into the hands. Find a small nod of chin towards chest and a slight lift of the elbows to your peripheral vision. Full breath in to prepare. And as you exhale, lift the head and chest straight up in space. And then inhale, lengthen and lower all the way back down. And again, exhale, we lift the chest. And inhale, we lower down. Good, so really slow and controlled chest lift. Maybe taking the gaze directly up to the ceiling or just a little bit beyond the toes. Trying our best to keep the head and neck out of this equation, out of this movement. So letting it just relax fully into the hands. Keeping the neck nice and long by keeping the chin nodded a little bit in towards the chest. Good, lift up for 3. Keep the elbows nice and wide, last 2. On the last one, we lift and hold at the top. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, maybe lift an inch higher. Find little pulses. Little lifts of the chest. Straight up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the chest all the way down. Take a second to reset. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, float the head and chest straight up in space. Now we're going to keep the left leg down and heavy into the mat. And we're going to hover the right leg, the right toes above the mat just an inch or 2. From here, we're going to find little pulses with the leg lifted, pulsing the chest for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause, lifted. Now just the knee is going to bend in, knee coming in line with the hip bone, so into a tabletop position. And then inhale, lengthen and lower that right leg away, just to a hover. And then exhale, bend it back in. Good, inhale, lower. Exhale, pull it in. For more of a challenge, you could keep the leg straight the whole time, lifting toes up towards the ceiling. Just mindful that the hips aren't starting to rock a lot when you do that. Maybe bending the knee might be a better option to start with. Good. Next time the toes come up towards the ceiling or knee bends into center, we hold here. Take a full breath in. Let's add our chest movement. So as you inhale, lengthen and lower the leg, drop the chest. Exhale, come back through center. Inhale, lower everything away. Exhale, everything comes back through center. Good, 2 more. Remembering to exhale as you lift. Inhale to lower down. The last one, we come through center, knee through center, chest lifted, hold here. Take another breath in. As you exhale, this time we're going to twist the upper body up and over towards that bent knee, towards the right side. Inhale, come back through center with the chest. Lengthen and lower the leg away, drop the chest back. And then exhale everything through center first and twist right. Good, so a really slow deconstructed bicycle or crisscross here, over to the right. Keeping the elbows nice and wide as you twist. Let's do 2 more. Exhale through center, inhale to lengthen. The last one, hold in your twist to the right. Find little pulses, little lifts in your twist for 3, for 2. Last one, come through center, lengthen and lower everything down.
If it feels good, maybe even lengthen the arms behind you. Take a full body stretch here. Just a little reset in between the two sides. Wiggle out the hips, whatever you feels good. Yeah, find some stillness. Bring hands back behind the head, elbows wide. Full breath in to prepare. Exhale, let's lift up for 3. Inhale down. Exhale, lift for 2. Last one, lift the head and chest and pause here. Now let's hover that left leg above the floor a few inches. Right leg stays heavy. Pulse the chest here for 3, 2. Last one, pause, lift it. Bend that left knee into tabletop. And then inhale, lengthen and lower that leg away. And exhale, bend it back in. Try to keep the chest lifted. Good, 3 more, just that leg. Keep that belly drawing in, hip bones contracting towards center, finding some control and some low belly work here as the leg lengthens and lifts. Good, the next time the leg's in tabletop, pause here. Let's add the chest. Inhale, lengthen the leg, drop the chest halfway back. And exhale, lift everything through center. Inhale to lengthen and lower. Exhale, big lift. Good, 2 more. Then we're gonna add in our little twist. Come through center, hold. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist up and over to that left bent knee. Inhale, come back through center, lengthen out. Exhale, come up through center and twist. Inhale away. Exhale, big lift, big twist. Good, and of course, always an option to keep the legs straight for a little bit more of a challenge, especially for the low abs. Good, let's do 2 more. On your last one, hold over in your twist. Find little pulses. Good. Elbows keep tracking nice and wide. Draining that bottom rib across the body to meet the opposite hip bone. Pulse for 3, 2, 1. Come back through center. Lengthen the leg, lower the chest. Take that nice big full body stretch. Inhaling deep through the nose. And exhale by the mouth. Good. And then let's keep the left arm lifted overhead and roll over to your left side. So we're going to be lying all the way down on the left side. So the arm can be long and you can rest your head on your bicep. If you have a small towel cushion, maybe placing it underneath that side will give your head and neck a little bit more support. I'm going to keep my head propped up just so I can look at the camera a little bit better. We're going to bend the knees. So it looks like we're sitting in a chair. So the legs are roughly bent at about 90 degrees and the feet are just kind of in line with our knees here. It's just sticking the bum out a touch here, not really to change the shape of our low back, but just to kind of engage through the glute muscles. Find a small lift of the side waist away from the floor, stacking both hip bones one on top of the other. Take an inhale to draw and scoop the belly in. On your exhale, we're going to lift that top leg up to hip height. At the top here, just let the foot dangle, let it be heavy, let it be dead weight. And then inhale, we're going to lower that leg down to tap the bottom. And then exhale, lifting right back up. Good. And for this entire sequence, we want to try and keep the gaze straight out ahead of us, just to avoid any unnecessary craning or tension in our neck. Good. We're going to lift and lower this leg for 4. Last 3. Good. On the last one, we're going to lift the leg up to hip height, hold here. Find little pulses, just little lifts of that thigh bone up towards the ceiling. And you can even place your hand maybe on that top right side glute, just to feel that little pulse for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Pause here. Now we're going to, as we inhale, start to tap the knees. The top knee will come down to meet the bottom knee, or maybe just hover above it. And then use your exhale to rotate, and then the heels touch. So inhale, find a little knee knock, and exhale, a little heel knock. And if the knee and the heels aren't meeting exactly, that's not a big deal. Just working in that rotation range that you have for this thigh bone rotating in its hip socket. And again, more concerned about kind of getting that top glute, that right glute to fire. And work as you rotate the leg back and forth. Good, let's go for 3, for 2, Last one, let's keep the knees knocked into center. Take an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to press and extend that top right leg away. Maybe flex through the right foot. Inhale, bend the knee, tap it down. And then exhale, press and extend. Good. And we're just extending out on the angle the knee is already in. Just a little lift, a little push out and down. Let's go for 3. This one, you'll probably start to feel the glute right away. Good. On the last one, we're going to press and extend. Keep the leg extended. Soft point from ankles to toes. As you inhale, rotate the thigh bone a little bit down towards the mat. And as you exhale, find a little external rotation up towards the ceiling. Again, inhale, a little rotation down. Exhale, rotate up. Let's go for 3. For 2. On the last one, rotate the thigh bone down towards the mat. Pause here. We're going to lift that leg up and back on a little diagonal line. Just up an inch and back an inch. Kind of targeting that crease area right between the leg and the glute on the right. Let's lift for 3, for 2. The last one, hold lifted for, let's just hold for 3. And 2. And 1. Bend the knee all the way down. Give yourself a little tap, little massage. Roll onto your stomach just for a second here. We'll take a few wide upward facing dogs. So bring the hands at about shoulder height, tent the fingers. Forehead rests heavy on the mat, legs long. Full inhale, draw and scoop your belly in. On your exhale, press into your fingertips, start to lengthen through the arms, any amount, lifting the head and chest. Inhale at the top, exhale, wave, melt down. Good, 2 more times. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, press and lift. And you can determine the depth of your back bend here. And again, maybe even closing the eyes for the last couple. I'm just focusing more on a stretch than any type of shape. Keeping the hip bones nice and weighted on the ground. Last one, inhale at the top. Exhale, wave it down. Good. And then from here, you can bring the right arm overhead. Just roll to your right side. But I'm going to flip all the way around. So again, I can face the camera. Setting up for our second side. Lying down on your right arm, or maybe a pillow. Bending the knees, sit in your chair. Try to line up the back edge of your body, so your spine with the back edge of your mat. Stack the hip bones, take an inhale, draw the belly in. On your exhale, let's lift that leg straight up in space, the top leg, and then inhale, lower down. Again, exhale, just lifting to hip height, and inhale down. And again, this time focusing on the left side glute, finding a contraction as we lift the leg, and finding a softening as we lower. Good, lifting straight up and down for 3. Keep the belly drawing in. Keep the gaze straight ahead. The last one, lift and hold. Let that foot be heavy, dead weight here. Find little pulses. Little tiny lifts. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now as we inhale, knees knock. And then exhale, the heels knock. Good. Inhale, a little rotation down. Exhale, rotate open. Let's go for 3. Last 2. And on the last one, keep the knees knocked. Now take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, press and extend that left leg away. Inhale, lower. And exhale to lift. Good. Let's go for 3. Last 2. Really extend the leg as you lift. Last one, pause here, soft point through the toes. Inhale, rotate thigh bone down to the mat. Exhale, little rotation up. Inhale, rotate the whole leg, thigh bone down. And exhale, lift. 1 more. Yeah, bring that leg to rotate down towards the mat. Find your little lift straight up and back. Good. Little squeeze to the back side of the glute and the leg. Little lift up, little lift back. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bend that knee all the way down and give that side a little tap the feet. Good. Roll onto your stomach one more time. This time bring the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes under. Press yourself up and back to child's pose for a moment. Maybe just wiggling the hips a little bit side to side if that feels good. And then when you're ready, glide the body weight forward, coming back onto hands and knees. Again, stacking shoulders above wrists, knees are underneath the hips. Let's do 2 rounds of cat-cows. Inhale, press the chest forward, lift the tail, lift the gaze. As you exhale, find a nice big tuck and round. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, tuck it under. Good. From here, tuck the toes under, draw the belly in, inhale. Exhale, hover the knees, step the feet back, find your high plank. Inhale here, wave the hips up and back as you exhale, down dog. From here, maybe shortening the stance a little bit so the feet can come a little bit firmer to the floor. Get really heavy into your left foot. We're going to lift the right toes up towards the ceiling, any amount that's possible for you. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, we're going to flow forward to high plank, bending that knee in towards our chest as we flow forward. And then inhale, lift everything way up and back, right toes reach up. And then as you exhale, flow forward again, this time bringing right knee to right elbow. And then inhale, lift it up and back. This time as we exhale, flow forward, bringing the knee across the body to the left elbow, little twist. And then inhale, lift up and back, all the way through again. Inhale, float forward, knee to chest. Inhale, come up and back. Exhale, flow forward, knee to elbow. Inhale, big lift. Exhale, cross the body, right knee to left elbow, and pause here. Or you can lengthen that right foot onto the ground, lift the left fingertips up towards the ceiling for a fallen star. And then maybe taking 3 big arm circles here with that top left arm. And then plant the left arm down. Lift the right toes way up and back, plant them back down, and we'll switch sides. Get heavy into the right foot, left toes lift any amount. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, flow forward, bringing knee to chest. Inhale, big lift. Exhale, flow forward, left knee, left elbow. Inhale to lift. And then exhale, cross the body, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, lift. All the way through again. Take an inhale, prepare. Exhale, flow forward, knee to chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. And up. And again, exhale, cross the body, left knee to right elbow, and you can hold and pause in your twist, or lengthen left foot onto the floor. Reaching the right fingertips up high this time, and 3 big arm circles. Plant that right hand down. Lift the left toes way up and back, and then slowly plant the left toes all the way down. In your down dog, just take a couple breaths in recovery. Let the head hang nice and heavy, maybe pedal out the feet. Good. Then find some stillness, take a full breath in. As you exhale, let's ripple forward through the spine, one bone at a time. Good. From here, slowly soften to the knees, untuck the toes, and send your hips back to meet your heels. From here, you can nestle the chest, the upper body to rest gently on your knees. Rest the forehead heavy on the mat. Good. Deep inhale through the nose. Big exhale by the mouth. Good. And then maybe even planting the palms together on the mat in front of you. Bending at the elbows and bringing the outer edges of the thumbs towards the base of your skull. And then maybe walking the elbows a little further forward in space, taking a little stretch for the upper back, the shoulders. And then slowly release the hands down to the mat. Tent the fingers against the floor. Lift the forearms, take an inhale. As you exhale, slowly start to glide the knees, or the hands towards your knees, round through the upper back. Take a little stretch forward. And then slowly, when you're ready, start to stack the spine, one on top of the other, one vertebrae on top of the other, till you're in a nice tall seated position. And sit any way you'd like here to end class. Maybe it's kneeling, maybe it's cross-legged, or maybe it's lying all the way down. From here, take a nice deep breath in. Lift the fingertips up overhead, big stretch. Interlace the fingers, press the palms up towards the ceiling as you inhale. Grow nice and tall. Exhale, little side bend up and over to the right side. Inhale, come back through center. And exhale, little side bend to the left. Inhale, come back through center. Bring the palms now behind the base of the skull. As you inhale, start to find a little chest lift, maybe the gaze lifts, little back bend. And as you exhale, tuck the chin towards your chest, round forward through the upper back, and let the hands just be weightless on the top of your head. Inhale, come nice and tall once more through center. Release the fingertips. One last time, nice big inhale, lift the arms up overhead. This time the palms come to touch. As you exhale, bend the elbows, lower the palms towards heart center. And maybe finding a slight nod of the chin towards the chest. Softening the gaze or closing the eyes if that's comfortable. You can leave your palms here at heart center or maybe just rest them gently in your lap. I'm just using these last few moments to find that subtle softening through the body, through the breath that we found at the very beginning of class. Releasing any tension from the forehead and the shoulders. Letting the belly soften, the glutes soften. And maybe just thanking yourself, your body, for showing up, for trying hard, maybe for trying something new. And maybe giving a little bit of gratitude to those around us that maybe made this practice this morning possible. Anyone in your life that made this morning go a little bit smoother. Slowly, when you're ready, start to lift the head, the neck, and the gaze. Come back through center. Blink the eyes open whenever you're ready. And that's it. We're all done, class. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and I hope to see you again soon.